Hi everybody, welcome to Gigs and Guitars, and am I gig ready? Okay, it's a bit of a quick video today. We've got our first gig tonight, which is a private wedding. We've not gigged for 18 months and this is our first outing in such a long time. We've been rehearsing at the unit in Blackpool as a band. I've been rehearsing quite a lot at home, getting back through the set list. We've got 27 songs to do. We've got 3 additional songs. The groom's going to get up with us and do 3 songs. So that's a bit of an interesting thing. We had a rehearsal which included the groom the other night, which went down really well. So we're doing Walking in the Shadow of the Blues, which is Whitesnake. Don't Believe a Word, Thin Lizzy. So we're doing the slow version, which Gary Moore did. I think that was live in Dublin, I think it might have been. I quite like that version. And the third song is Pearl Jam Alive. So it's quite a heavy rock kind of biased. Now we've taken those 3 songs from the Boom Shanker set list, so it doesn't take songs away from our Cooper Collective set list, which is more Fleetwood Mac, Blondie, and sort of a bit more lighter material. We've got Florence and the Machine in there. We've got another kind of goodies, got a bit of Duran Duran and stuff, bit more party kind of sort of dance kind of stuff, which is really, really good. That is what this is all about at the minute. So it's all going to be on the hoof. I'm making this up as I'm going along. I'm not planning what I'm going to say. But I have got one interesting thing to show you. You probably saw this in the recent video I did. Now this is my 1952 Fender vintage reissue of a Telecaster Blackguard. I've got to be honest, I should have bought one of these 30 years ago and I've had it a couple of weeks now, and killer tone, absolute killer tone. I don't know why I've not had a Telecaster before now. And I think what it might be, and I think it's possibly down to when I started listening to rock music, it was like Whitesnake, Adrian Vandenberg, people like that. And it's all pointy headstocks, big hairdos and fluorescent pink guitars, and Strats and Telecasters and things like that weren't really sort of in the forefront of my rock guitar journey. I started off on a Kramer Pacer 2, which had like a Strat body with a pointy Kramer headstock. It was made in New Jersey. And so the Telecaster really sort of bypassed me. Been watching loads of stuff on YouTube, and I thought, right, well, I've got the Les Paul, got a Firebird, got a Strat, got my Ibanez. Felt I needed to get a Telecaster. Wanted that honk or the twang from a guitar such as this. And I always fancied the 52 Blackguard reissues. Now, this is a 2000 model, but I did play a 2007 model about 6 weeks ago in Ormskirk, and went down to play it, loved it. It was the right price, the right spec, looked exactly like this, played really well. It had a refret, which wasn't a problem. And I walked away from it, and then the following day I thought, do you know what, I really like that guitar, I'll buy it. Went onto the sound effects website in Ormskirk, and do you know what, it had been sold straight away. And to be honest, I can understand that, because it was a brilliant guitar, and I thought, friggin' I should have bought that. So what happened was, I've got my reverb feed set up, as you do, you get emails all day from them, and this one popped up in London, and I thought, do you know what, if it's the right spec, it's from a reputable dealership, and I thought, I'll take a punt. So anyway, so 2 days later, this little baby arrived through the post, and I have to say, it's an absolute dream of a guitar. I've not done anything to it. Incredibly, the intonation is spot on all over the fretboard, so it's been really well set up. It's on 9s at the minute, so I'll be putting 10s on this in the next few weeks. But because of the gig we've got tonight, I've really been focusing my attention on the Les Paul and the Black Strat. So this Blackguard Telecaster has really just been sort of hung on the wall, except for the odd sort of 10 minutes here and there. But once I've got this gig out of the way, what I will do is I'll be doing some more work on this, and I'll do a full feature on the Blackguard Telecaster and the American Vintage Reissue series. We've got the gig tonight, and it's a case of, am I gig ready? And yes, I've been practicing the amp setup here. I'll talk about the pedalboard in a minute or two. But what I really need to do, and I'm looking at it now, my gold top Les Paul is just over here. In fact, I'll just grab that. This hasn't been restrung for a bit, so I think what I need to do is give this a bit of a makeover, give it a clean up, bit of fretboard oil on it, lube the nut, which is really important. So lads, if you want to stay out of trouble, make sure your nuts are lubed. It's not been restrung for a bit, so I'm just going to have a quick look. And what you can tell, if you just run your finger underneath, say the little thin E string, the bottom E string, you can feel a little bit of corrosion there. Same on the B string. But when I used it in rehearsals a couple of nights back with the band, it sounded really great and it played really well. But I've got a whole load of strings, so I've got plenty of spares. I've got a big pile of plectrums and stuff all in my kit bag for any breakages. Got other tools there for quick string repairs should I need to do that, which is rare. So what we'll do today, we'll swap the strings over on this. We'll give it a clean up, fretboard oil, lube the nut, and we'll have to play this in. Now, I've seen sort of various sort of other people sort of playing in guitars, or they've actually had it on, say, a table, and they've actually yanked at the strings to really stretch them in. I don't tend to do that. All I tend to do is play the regular stuff for about 3 or 4 minutes, retune, make sure it's got lots of string bending in it, and that tends to put me in the right place really for getting tuning stability out of this guitar. So that's one thing I need to do, so I'll just pop that back on the wall for now. Here we go. This hasn't been seen since rehearsal the other night. Remember, this is the black Strat. This was restrung, and I set this up probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I've lowered the pickup heights to increase the dynamic range of tone from this guitar. I think it's something I'm experimenting with, and I think I'll probably be doing a little bit of a feature in the future about pickup heights, the amount of pickups you have on a guitar, and how all these pickups can affect the tone of a guitar, which is due to the magnetic field, the pull of the pickups, in terms of magnetism and how that affects tone. So for example, if you're playing a single pickup P90 Gibson Les Paul Junior, some would argue it offers the best tone around. Guys, the pedal board, and I'll put some photographs on the screen hopefully now. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's had a little bit of not of transformation as such, but the pedal board has had 2 new additions to it. One is the TC Electronics Hypergravity compressor, and I've also had the additional pedal delivered, which is the Black Country Customs, which is Laney, and it's their Secret Path reverb pedal. Now, each and every pedal on my pedal board has got a use within the Cooper Collective set. I don't take pedals out with me unless there's actually a need for them, because the less pedals you've got, it's arguable the better tone you've got. But each pedal has got a use within the Cooper Collective. So for example, the signal chain is as follows. So I've got the Voodoo Lab Wazoo pedal, which is a wah pedal. That is used in Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, but we do the version which has been covered by Hailstorm. So that is used in that. We've then got the Hypergravity TC Electronics compressor pedal. That's specifically used in Long Train Running by the Doobie Brothers. The next in the signal chain is the Big Muff. That's used a few times in the set, so I like the Big Muff fuzz kind of tones. That is used in, say, Song 2 by Blur. As an example, moving again to the left, we have got the MXR Phase 90 script. I like that for the David Gilmour kind of stuff, but again, that's used in Bad Romance within the bridge in the last third of the song. It gives a nice sort of phase, sort of rolling, swelling kind of tone within the bridge, and I think it supports that really nicely. So those are all direct input into the front face of the amplifier, and I then use an effects loop which comes out the back, which runs into the MXR chorus pedal. So we've got that. So it's the analog chorus, which then runs into the MXR carbon copy delay. Use that quite a bit, mainly sort of just to give the solos just a little bit more, can I say, just rounds the tone off a little bit, just a little bit more sustain and things. And that runs nicely into the Black Country Customs Laney reverb pedal, which I'm going to be using quite a bit tonight on particular things. I use it quite at a low level, but I use the actual the mode of the secret path just to particularly say, for example, a nice little sort of bluesy lick. You want a nice little bit of reverb there, or slightly different reverb to what I've got in the amp at the minute. Now the amp's got a really good spring reverb, so within the pedal I'm obviously not going to use the spring reverb because I've already got it. There's a plate reverb in there as well, but I use the secret path for those sort of how can you put it, for a reverb with trails on there, you know, but I'm using it quite subtly just to mellow the tone out a little bit. The pedal board has had quite a lot of work done to it, but on face value it looks just the same as it did with the addition of 2 pedals. But what I have done to make it really reliable is I've invested in Klotz vintage guitar leads. So I've got 4 6-meter Klotz, I think the 59er cables, I think that's what they're called. So I'm running almost the length of a swimming pool worth of guitar leads. So within the guitar tuner, which I forgot to mention, which is the 3rd pedal on the board after the big muff, it's running a buffer to keep the high frequency treble value throughout my signal chain to keep that up there. And the reason why the buffer and the tuner is downstream of the big muff, because that's where it needs to be. You can't really have it the other side of it. It would completely corrupt the sound, the tone.
I like the tuner here. Bullshit, asshole. No one likes a tuner here. Yeah, well, I do.
Now, what I've done also is I've moved my Laney channel switching foot switch from the floor onto the pedal board as well. So it's all self-contained. It's all there where I can see it, and I'm not trying to do yoga whilst trying to change channels, put a bit of delay on, hit the wah-wah. So everything is within like let's say 18 inches, 2 feet of each other maximum, instead of like 3 feet or something like that. So it makes it incredibly manageable.